Thank you. So at this time, we're gonna, give me 1 second, okay? Let me finish. Did you write a question down? Okay, give me a second, okay? Thank you. So what we're gonna do, we're here to listen to you, and I know folks have a lot of questions. We want to make sure that we continue to keep this specific to the Federal Secure Communities Program. We want statements, testimonies, concerns for this next half of the event.
First of all, my name is Tim Roche. I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen. My father's mother was a Mohawk Indian. My mother's parents immigrated from the Ukraine as Jewish immigrants fleeing tyranny in Soviet Russia. I want to make sure everybody here remembers why this country was formed. It was formed to make everyone equal under the law. When words are used to obscure illegal activity, when we're having a discussion that should be on the Federal Secure Communities Program, but we get sidetracked into comments about racism and comments about immigrants and undocumented immigrants, we show a disrespect for the law. And the moment we disrespect one law, no other law is safe. You show a disrespect. And for those people who are here illegally, you're showing a disrespect for the laws of this country.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick McCartan, a citizen of Lowell, Mass. And my interest is to implore the governor to please pass this act, become part of this program to secure the communities of Lowell, the state of Massachusetts, and the entire country. I'm a former federal law enforcement agent, and some of these numbers and names jump right out at me. And the reasons I want him to become part of this program is because of what's turned up in the program that has been working in Boston for the past few years. From 2008 to 2010, the Boston ICE office arrested 245 individuals involved in immigrant gangs. And it's the gangs that are the problem. The gang members came from 25 different countries: Mexico, Brazil, Cape Verde, Dominican Republic, Portugal, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Honduras, El Salvador, Colombia, Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Bahamas, Bermuda, Cuba, Guatemala, Barbados, and they just cut me off, but 25 countries with violent gang members. We need this program to help ICE, help the local law enforcement people enforce our laws.
My name is Joseph Rizzoli. I represent a group of Framingham called Concerned Citizens and Friends of Illegal Immigration Law Enforcement. On the internet the other day, I did a search in the governor's, in the Senate about bills. There's a bill that's going to be passed, and a lot of the senators supported it. It says, whoever utilizes in any way false identification document for the purpose of soliciting, securing, or obtaining employment from a public employer as defined in section blah, 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 shall be punished by a fine, and then it goes into it. Now, my whole gist with the illegal immigrants, because you mentioned it over here in one of the questions, we're illegal, but we aren't criminals. We don't do anything wrong. This indicates document fraud is an illegal act. It's a criminal act, and that is not being taken into consideration. Most of the people here that are illegal are violating the law.
Cameron Carey, entrepreneur, and opponents to this program say that people should not be deported for something like a driving violation, but traffic citations don't result in arrest. So secure communities will not apply in this regard. But more importantly, no one is deported for traffic violations or any other state crime. They are deported because they are here illegally.
A little louder.
Hello, I'm Len Mead from Westboro, Massachusetts. In all respect to the fact you're having these meetings, this apparently is meeting number 6.
It's on. You just have to speak a little louder.
In all respect, please stop these meetings. These are a bogus waste of time. Implement the law. Don't wait until 2013. 351 communities deserve this protection. And I beg you, stop this facade of input. Your governor has told you what to do. You're doing your job, which is to hold these meetings. Please go back to him and say, we've had plenty of meetings. Let's protect citizens.
My name is Jeff Stone. I'm testifying as co-chair of the Greater Boston Civil Rights Coalition and as a board member of the Jewish Alliance for Law and Social Action. I'm also a board member of the Irish International Immigrant Center. I came to urge the governor not to sign on to the Secure Communities Act. My testimony is based on 12 years of experience working with immigrant groups and my having facilitated over 60 dialogue sessions between police officers and community members in racially and ethnically diverse communities, including in the cities of Boston, Brockton, Haverhill, and Lowell. I also moderated 2 public forums in Milton in 2005 on policing and racial profiling, when the town of Milton scored poorly in statewide racial profiling study commissioned by the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security and carried out by Northeastern University. I've also moderated discussions for EOPS on community police relations, and I also serve on the Community Advisory Committee of the MBTA Police.
Let's let him finish.
Based on this experience, I have grave concerns about the damage that will likely be done in Massachusetts by this initiative to already fragile levels of trust in police by marginalized communities, which include newer immigrant groups and minority religious groups. Every community needs a professional police force to be healthy and safe.
Let him finish his comment, please, if you guys can.
Police
She's
need trust
taking
and
time. We have a
cooperation
time
with the community
taken.
to do their work. Good relations can quickly be destroyed if immigrants in Massachusetts are deported for minor infractions, as will happen if we mandate that police officers...
Thank you for your comment.
My name is Jack Cole. I live in Medford, Massachusetts. I served 26 years in the state police. I retired a detective lieutenant from that.
A little louder.
I'm trying, folks. As I say, I served 26 years in the state police. For 20 of those years, I was a detective lieutenant working on major crimes. And my concern with this thing is that when we work in immigrant communities, we need their trust, and we need to have people that will come forward and talk to us about major crimes. I'm really worried that this is going to very much dampen that relationship we have with them. In the United States, we have 40% of all the murders in this country are unsolved. 60% of all the rapes and arsons go unsolved. 75% of the robberies go unsolved. We need help with this, and I think going this way is the wrong way to go. Thank you.
My name is John O'Mara from Northborough. First, an opening comment relative to the Undersecretary's plea for participation. You're trying to listen to us. We've told you several times that we'd love to have ICE as part of this working of this program. If you're truly listening to us, we hope that they will be invited in the future. It's really not your decision. My comment is it's crystal clear that the purpose of these meetings is to create a free and open exchange of ideas, but rather a predetermined political outcome. Your office, the Executive Office of Public Safety, and the Governor's Office have advertised these public meetings as an attempt to elicit, quote, an open dialogue about secure communities and to promote an understanding about federal immigration customs enforcement, and to solicit the concerns of the community and share those concerns with federal officials. You have shown by these public statements that you are trying to elicit only the concerns and not the benefits.
My name is Fred Small. I'm Senior Minister of First Parish in Cambridge, Unitarian Universalist. I'm here to stand on the side of love with immigrant families, students, and workers. The only secure community is the beloved community of Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. The Secure Communities program is driven by fear. Fear of difference, fear of the other, fear of foreigners, fear of scarcity, fear of competition. Rather than uniting us, the Secure Communities program divides us. It reduces security by putting people in fear of the police. If the Bible is your authority, hear the book of Leviticus. When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. I have been to Arizona, where politicians advance their careers by stirring up fear and hatred of immigrants. I don't want to live in that kind of atmosphere. I don't want my daughter to grow up in that kind of atmosphere. I beg Governor Patrick, don't lead Massachusetts down the road to Arizona. Reject secure communities.
Nancy Murray, I'm here from the American Civil Liberties Union. We oppose secure communities.
All right, excuse me. Okay. So, folks who are making their comments, you're gonna have to speak up. Unfortunately, we really apologize, but the speakers it's not as loud as it should be. So you're gonna have to find somewhere within your gut to sort of speak up a little bit. For the audience, I ask you to respect people who are making their comments. If you were up there, you would not like the disrespect. Let's continue.
The ACLU opposes this program. I was happy to hear that the governor does not have to sign it according to his own office, and I urge him not to. Let us let the program run into the sand. You know, behind the scenes, the documentation that's coming out through FOIA requests show that ICE and the FBI are very worried about the legality of this program. They don't know if they can impose it on states without an MOU. I say no MOU. Why? Because we see it is not doing what it says it's going to do. In Boston, over 50% of those removed have no violent criminal convictions. In fact, over 50% have no criminal convictions at all. So it is not going to make our communities safe. It's simply going to tear them apart. It will encourage racial profiling. Say no to secure
Thank
communities.
you. Next comment, go ahead.
My name is Laura Garza. I live in East Boston. I'm a factory worker. I have seen how bosses take advantage of the different status of workers to get away with lower pay and worse conditions, to threaten people that they would call immigration or call the police on them if people fight and stand up for their rights. As someone who is impacted by the second-class status of a layer of workers, I stand against that. I believe we need more unionization. We need legalization for immigrant workers. Workers are not criminals. They are people trying to make a living like all the rest of us. And you play a fool's game if you, in the time of economic crisis, decide to turn on other workers instead of on those who have created these conditions, on the bankers and the businessmen who are exploiting all of us. I believe that the governor has stated he is going to sign this thing already. I believe that's a mistake. We should take a stand and say no. This has no place in society. We need equal rights for all immigrant workers.
Thank you.
My name is Frank Sekvat. I'm from the Massachusetts Immigrant and Refugee Advocacy Coalition. Secure communities is nothing more than a PR stunt on the part of the federal government. And I think Mr. Wood's response to the first question about what are its advantages is rather telling. He listed two advantages. One was catching people who already have a prior order of deportation. The FBI already has that information in their criminal information database. So that's not an advantage to secure communities. The second is in capturing actual convicted criminals. We already have two programs in Massachusetts to do that, the 287G program and the criminal alien program. So that means that the two advantages that Mr. Wood listed for secure communities aren't advantages. It's stuff that's already being done. The only thing secure communities is going to do is scare our communities.
My name is Isabel Thacker, and I'm from Newton. My concern is that immigrants will stop seeking help from local law enforcement, and this will make our communities insecure for everyone. I appreciate that one of these gentlemen said that they were trying to figure out how to protect victims, but I would urge you not to adopt the program until you have figured that out. I understand that Washington State has opted out of secure communities. I hope that Massachusetts will look into figuring out how it can adopt out also. The EOPS secretary said that he couldn't actually say what the advantage was to Massachusetts for adopting this, and I would urge you not to adopt it if you don't know what the advantages are to Massachusetts residents. Thank you.
Susan Leslie, I'm here with the Standing on the Side of Love campaign and the Unitarian Universalists. I think we all know that we have a broken immigration system and it's breaking up families. And we're seeing a gridlock down in Washington, D.C. I want Massachusetts to live up to our commitment of being a welcoming state We do not have to go along with this program. You say we have to be in it by 2013. We've got a lot of time, not a lot, but we have time between now and then to be part of a growing movement that's saying, no, federal government, we do not want to participate in a program that is breaking our community in half. Look at the energy in here. We're all human beings deserving of respect and dignity and love. And these kinds of programs are creating fear and distrust and increasing bigotry. They've got to be stopped.
I speak to everyone here today. We are a Judeo-Christian nation. We look at the Bible. In Genesis, it is said, God created man in his image and likeness. That means everyone. We are all children of God, and we all need to protect each other.
My name's Jay Dwyer, and I don't need a microphone because I'm going to speak to everybody's heart. I see a lot of women and children in here, a lot of older people of different ages. The most important thing is we have to protect ourselves with our mutual defense. If we have knowledge of a criminal, he's got to go. That's how it is. I don't care if the color, the race, the religion, it makes no difference. If we let them go again, they're going to commit a crime maybe against you, maybe against me, or somebody I love. That's all I need to know. If they're a criminal, they got to go.
I am very proud to say that I am a U.S. citizen, but I am an immigrant. I came here 22 years ago, and I was granted to be a citizen of national interest. So, because of the work that I have been doing in this city, I have been working with all kinds of immigrants, and I am bringing the voice of some of them. And this is what they say. Fear, this secure communities program brings fear, because if it is not implemented right, it will affect all immigrant families. We feel it is not fair the way immigrants are being treated. Is this an issue of race and class? Everyone comes to this country with dreams to contribute and help their families. Laws should be inclusive.
Thank you. Next comment.
I'm so glad that they brought up Arizona. Our laws protect everybody. I finally want to put to the argument to rest that our laws are racial. I wrote an email to Russell Pierce. He was the author of the Arizona law. And he sent me back a 4-page letter, and he wrote this, and he listed all the death and maimings of police officers and citizens in Arizona by illegal aliens. Phoenix officer Figueroa, killed. Phoenix officer Urkel, murdered. Phoenix officer Glidwood, shot in chest. Serial rapist in Chandler sentenced to 169 years for multiple rapes and molestations. 15-year-old in Scottsdale, raped by a janitor. 15-year-old kidnapped and raped in Guadalupe. Phoenix officer Atkinson murdered. Phoenix officer Robert Sitek murdered. Park ranger Eagle in Arizona murdered. Border Patrol agent Epling murdered. If not for these illegals being here, that probably was their first crime, these law-abiding American citizens, taxpayers, would be alive. What's a governor to do? Nothing? Is that what Governor Patrick's going to do? Nothing? You're going to wait? We had a customer who was murdered. My grandson was broadsided. Stop obstructing our laws. And I have his four-page original email I want to give to you too. And read the whole thing.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, my name is Barbara O'Meara, and I think that when Mr. Wood and Mr. Chacon had a difficult time answering a question like, what are the advantages of secure communities? I think we have a real problem. We definitely need someone else on the panel, either a sheriff or someone else from ICE who could come and answer the kinds of questions, simple questions like this one, and other questions that we need to know. We have been extremely unfair to the immigrant community in not providing them with the kind of information that they need to know about secure communities. Thus, the fear. If I were an immigrant, would you rather live, let me ask you folks, if you would rather live next to a rapist, a murderer, a thief, or would you rather have these people rounded up and sent back to their country of origin?
My name is Ralph Belmore from Marlboro, and I had the question over there earlier, and I want to bring it right back to Mr. Wood. Mr. Wood, you had mentioned that the successful portion of secure communities was working well in Boston. You also mentioned that there were several concerns. Are you willing to discuss or open up those concerns with us here today that appear to be negative, or are we not going to hear those today? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Segrist, and I live in Watertown, and I work here in Waltham. I'm going to read a testimony and then share my personal opinion.
As long as it's 1 minute, and it's about federal secure community programs.
This is from someone who lives in Waltham. I am a citizen of the United States and been married for over 11 years to an immigrant. Unfortunately, ICE has taken him from me, and the way that they are treated is not right. For my husband is a person with good character, and I believe that some laws should not be done in a form that hurts families. This program will not only hurt the individuals deported, but the whole family that can include citizens of the United States. This is wrong the way this was done, so please don't take away families. We're just here trying to make a life better for ourselves. And I would also just like to make the comment, many people have been speaking on behalf of immigrants, but as someone who lives in this community, I want to say that any program that condones racial profiling makes me live in fear in this community, even if I'm not an immigrant.
Welcome everybody. I feel so sad to hear everything against the immigrants.
All right, we're going to let her finish her comment.
What's going to happen if this anti-immigrant program is approved? There's going to be more crime, violence, bullying. There are many Americans that commit crime again as well. Can you imagine what will happen to women in abusive situations, and the child there are going to be more scared. The people are going to stay in abusive relationship because the police, they're gonna help them. They're not gonna help them. They're gonna be against them too. So we have our families be safe too.
Hello, my name is Dalika.
Estoy aquí para contarles qué han pensado ustedes. Yo he sido víctima de violencia doméstica. Ahora la pregunta es, ¿qué pasaría con todas las personas que están siendo abusadas? Ya tendríamos miedo de hablar.
I'm here to talk to you all and tell you that I have been a victim of domestic violence, and I am asking, what are we going to do to help more people who've been victims of domestic violence?
Yo no tendría el valor de denunciar si estoy siendo abusada.
I might not have the strength to denounce the violence under this program.
Por saber que quieren imponer estas comunidades seguras, que siento que no son seguras.
Because under this secure communities programs, that we would not be safe, and it would not help to keep us more safe.
Thank you.
Mi nombre es Ruth Salazar.
My name is Ruth. Vengo en nombre de todas las mujeres con violencia doméstica. I come in the name of all the victims of domestic violence. Si dan ese programa, ¿quién de las mujeres podrá quejarse? If this program is approved, who of us could look for help? Habrá muchas mujeres violentadas y muchas violaciones y niños violados. There will be so much more women and children violated. Por favor, please. Le pido por favor que apoye a todas las inmigrantes que están aquí. I ask you just to help all the immigrants that we have here. My name is Isabel Martinez. I'm a community advocate here in the area. I have been working with victims and survivors of domestic violence. They have been survivors. They are survivors because they have the help of the community, of the authorities. With this new program, I can see every day many victims and survivors that are coming scared to death because they don't want to go there. They don't want to be re-victimized, not just for their abuses, but also for the community, for the police, for everyone, that they are going to be so scared that they are not going to be able to cry for help, and they need this help. They are children, who many of them are citizens. They are scared to death too. What are we teaching to these children? Is this the society that we do want to build?
If you feel like you need to call them instead of writing it, you can do so as well. And that number is 617-725-4025. And any of our constituent services rep will help you take that comment. Okay, so we're gonna take the next question, the next comment. Please make sure it's, again, the folks who are in line, that your comment or testimony is around the Federal Secure Communities Program. Thank you.
Wayne Hancock, Clinton, Mass. As a citizen of the United States who is also a member of law enforcement, I ask you to help me in keeping our communities safe. Secure Communities is a tool that will help to identify those who have committed additional crimes and who are wanted in their own country by their law enforcement. I ask you to not handcuff law enforcement, but to handcuff dangerous criminals who are wanted for major crimes. We the people live in a nation of laws that we all must obey and live by. We may not pick and choose which ones we enforce. Secure Communities is an act that, when enacted, will help keep us all safe. Those who are affected by Secure Communities are criminals, and what is being asked for is fingerprints to be shared. This is not a witch hunt. This is an enforcement of law.
My name is Lydia Edwards. I volunteer with the Brazilian Immigrant Center, and I'm a proud American to be in the greatest country on earth. But I'll tell you this country has had unjust laws before, and this is one of those unjust laws. And I say this proudly, we should not abide by unjust laws. That is not justice for anybody. This law, and I'll tell you how it's going to work with abuse victims. Police officers come into the home, and they will take both people in an abusive situation. They take the victim and they take the perpetrator, because they don't know who hit who. They arrest both of them, and that means that woman is going to be deported as well. That's how that happens. That's how it happens.
Let her finish her comment.
Fairly and just. This is a country of just laws, and I'm not going to apologize. This law is unjust. It's discriminatory, and you should be a damn shame of yourself for saying those things.
Okay, next. Thank you.
My name's Jessica Vaughn. I live in Franklin. And, I'm really troubled by the lengths that certain groups that claim to be advocates for immigrants have gone to misrepresent this program, and the role some of our public safety officers have played, officials have played in allowing those misconceptions to go forward, even though they've had the opportunity to be briefed by ICE. And I think if ICE were here, they would say this thing. Victims and witnesses are never targets for immigration law enforcement unless they also have committed a crime. Secure Communities identifies people at the time they are arrested. ICE has to call them non-criminals at that time because they haven't had the benefit of our due process and access to our system of justice to go before a judge and be convicted or acquitted of the crime that they were arrested for. The same is true of their immigration status. They'll have the opportunity to tell a judge why they deserve to stay. And so this misuse of non-criminals is causing immigrants to unnecessarily fear this program.
So we've come to the sort of the ending of this portion, and what we I want to thank everyone for coming out today. I think it's really important that everyone came out today. I have a couple of announcements to make, and again, I want to reiterate that if you have any concerns, you want to make more, give us some more testimony, that you either find one of our constituent services folks who have right over here, so you can do your written testimony, or you can call, and the number is 617-725-4025. And I do appreciate everyone being here and bringing up your signs.